Boom, what's good? What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Ferris Madonna, and welcome to another great edition of Good Friends, Better Rivals. Today, I got my main man, Caleb, with me. Caleb, what the hell's on your shirt?
What do you mean with it? What are you talking about?
It's a new shirt. I see the NFL logo and I saw football. What is it? What's on your shirt?
Cowboys football?
Oh, okay, all right. Then it doesn't matter. I thought it was
What do you
something
think is
different.
gonna be on the shirt?
I thought it was gonna be something different, like some NFL thing. But I should
What
never mind.
NFL thing?
I don't know. You're pro NFL. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Today, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's
Chilling.
good, man. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. But today, Caleb, we're gonna be talking about some other things. We're gonna be talking about free agency, baby. Free agency had opened on I believe it was Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. It's been an entire week of talks. Certain people got certain deals. Big blockbuster situation that happened between the Baltimore Ravens and the Las Vegas Raiders. I was about to call them the Oakland Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders with Max Crosby. That was a whole hoot and a half. LBHT talked about it in a bunch. Let's get right into the chat before we get into this. So shout out to you, Pay the Bills, Ravens fan. Shout out to the big homie, Mr. Ochoa. Shout out to you, Leo. Appreciate you for being here. But yeah, big news coming out of there. That was pretty crazy. It was not Giants related or Cowboys related, but it was still pretty crazy. Well, actually, it was kind of Cowboys
It was
related.
Cowboys related.
Yeah, it was kind of Cowboys related because the reason the deal was nixed was because. Well, let's talk about it. Right, let's get right into the big news of free agency. Let's talk about it, and then we'll talk about the Giants and the Cowboys signing certain people. I'm gonna bring up the free agency tracker in so we know who's still out there and who's now been signed. So we'll talk about that. But let's talk about what happened. Right. Speaking of the reason we say it's Cowboys related is that it's what happened. Baltimore Ravens trade 2 first-round picks.
But why did they have to trade for 2 first-round picks?
What do you mean why?
Well, because we had an offer on the table as well.
What was your offer?
A first round, second round, and I guess a player.
Okay, yeah. So the Raiders wanted 2 first-round picks. Then
Yeah,
they didn't. The player you probably offered up.
We were the first
You
team to
know what?
offer.
You know who I think. You know who I think the player was.
Probably Osa.
Yeah, it was probably Osa because you ended up trading Osa a couple days later. So it was probably Osa Odighizuwa, a first and a second. So the Ravens had to beat your offer. They're like, we'll give you 2 firsts. And they beat it. But it was pending physical. Everybody knew he just had knee surgery, literally like in January. So everybody knew. Then the trade comes in for the physical, and then a couple days later they back out. Shout out to you, smooth operator. What's up, fellas? First time viewer. Shout out to you, big dog. They traded for him. He fails their physical because the reason it's also Cowboys related is that they consulted Cowboys team physician and world-renowned knee and shoulder specialist surgeon, the Cowboy, Dan Cooper. Dan Cooper basically told them, this knee, bone on bone, it's shredded. There's no jelly. He has no cartilage in his knee. It's not good. So the Ravens said, peace out, and nixed the deal. And they backed out the deal. A lot of Ravens fans are angry at EDC.
You think the Cowboys would have done that?
Well, the Cowboys ended up doing that because
I know we eventually did that, but
yeah,
but since we traded for less than
yeah,
the first 2 first round, would we had still been in? Would we have nixed it? Would if they had accepted our deal?
I don't think so. I think you guys will. I think you guys keep him.
Yeah, I do too.
I think you guys keep him because you only give up 1 first and a second in Osa, who you don't really want because you ended up trading him. I think you guys keep the deal. Ravens, they basically mortgaged the next 2 years in the first round. Not mortgaged, well, actually mortgaged because they don't trust their GM in the first 2 rounds for him. Because also you compound it with you trade for Max Crosby, you get rid of your 2 first-round picks, and then you sign a guard that every
Or
Ravens.
was it always the Ravens' plan to nix it?
Then why trade for him in the first place? Then
To drive
you're
the
gonna
price
nix
down.
it.
To drive the price down on Hendrickson.
Well, Hendrickson still got $112 million.
Well, he could have got more.
Well, they didn't need to do that because he was sitting on the shelf for a day and a half. His money was shrinking.
Well, he
At,
only was there for a day and a half because they made the trade.
yeah. Well, if you believe what's his face, he said they wanted both. They wanted Max
They could
and
have
Trey.
both. That's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah, smooth operator. ECD pulled the okie doke. Come on now. Ravens lost 12 players and he needed those picks back badly. You're probably right. That's one of the theories. A couple of reporters, Jordan Schultz, and a couple of other insiders said, "Oh, we've heard around the league that people are not happy about this. They're not, apparently a GM told Jordan Schultz, I'm not happy that the Ravens did this." The GM could be the Raiders GM. We don't know. They don't put their names on this stuff. So you have no idea if people are mad. But if a doctor's telling you...
Well, the only reason why I don't know, because, I mean, you already knew he was hurt.
Yeah, you already knew he was hurt.
So I don't understand, like, all of a sudden backing out.
That's why a lot of Ravens fans are mad. They're like, you already knew he was hurt. Why even do that? Because also, too, I told, a couple of fans, I was with Jose doing a couple streams with them. I said to them, okay, if you're willing to throw 2 first-round picks to a defensive end with leg injuries, but also to Caleb, he's not even the best defensive end in the league. We know who the best defensive end in the league is. It's the dude in Cleveland. So you're willing to give 2 first-round picks to the second or third best defensive end in the league, depending on who you talk to, but you're not willing to give 2 first-round picks for the best receiver in the league, who is in Minnesota, slowly dying a death that we're really sad to see, because Minnesota is in shambles. I believe everybody's gettable in the NFL. If Minnesota's offered 2 first-round picks for Justin Jefferson, I think they probably accept it. They'll probably think about it. They blow it up, start all over. They don't have a GM, so they'll start all over. You don't know until you ask. So he probably did do the okie doke. Or you believe him and say, you believe Dan Cooper, the doctor of the Cowboys, basically telling the Ravens his knee is nothing. His knee's nothing. His knee. Because what happened was when they nixed the deal, right away they ask, are the Cowboys back? Are they back in the sweepstakes? Are the Cowboys back in the sweepstakes? And right out the gate, a source in the Cowboys organization told Jen Slater, we've moved on. We signed Rashan Gary. The source is probably, I don't know, somebody. So Dan Cooper then probably told them, yeah, no, his knee's done. Because he's their doctor. So you have Dan in the building. You'd be like, hey, Dan, what happened in the physical with the Ravens? Do we trade for Max Crosby now? And Dan probably's like, no, Jerry, you don't.
Do you feel like that's actually the case?
Huh?
Do you feel like Max Crosby's just going to be, like, fine?
What do you mean fine?
Like he's just going to play like he's been playing?
He probably this year and the next year, but I think is if you're giving 2 first-round picks, he's 29. You're giving up 2 first-round picks. You want an extended period of success.
Do you?
If they're telling me, if they're telling me how bad his knee is,
get success right now, win a Super Bowl, I don't give a crap about the future.
That's true.
I've been telling you that. I don't care.
Yeah. I know you do. I know you don't. But that's what's going on. Pay the Bill says, man, there's a difference between being told something's wrong and seeing what's wrong. But I agree, shipping those picks for Jettis 100%. Ferris knows exactly. So you're willing to give up 2 first-round picks for not even the best defensive end in the league, but the best receiver in the league, who is in Serbia right now, literally, just
Siberia
having his career ruined. Oh yeah, Serbia? No.
Or it's like Eastern Europe or something.
Yeah, Siberia is in Russia. Serbia is in the Balkans. My bad. Siberia, so like having his career ruined by JJ Menace McCarthy. You don't think, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. Shout out to Money Mike. EDC used Crosby already being hurt as a way to back out the trade to get his picks. That's a theory. That's a prevailing theory. But here's the thing too. You got to ask. So is Dan Cooper lying? They're saying we use the Cowboys doctor. So so is Dan Cooper in cahoots with the Ravens? So we'll see about that. Ravens signed trade the top of the morning, the day after backing out. EDC seen a chess move, and he made it. Exactly. But if you believe him, smooth operator, if you believe him, most Ravens fans don't. He said he wanted both. He wanted both. He said he wanted both. So
do you believe him?
That's the thing. Do you believe him? No,
Not really.
you
Not
don't
really,
believe him
no.
because he's shown you nothing that should have you trust him. Because the first thing he does, Caleb, on day one of free agency, he signs a guard that was already in Baltimore that people know stinks, that they let him walk and he goes to the Jets. And they gave that guy $30 million. You didn't sign Wyatt Teller. You didn't go after Eldrin Jenkins. You didn't go after Zion Johnson or Tevin Jenkins. You didn't do any of that stuff. You went and got John Simpson. So you compound John Simpson plus the Max Crosby debacle. Ravens fans have no faith in this dude. No faith. Pay the bills. Why would you buy a used car that your mechanic said was cool without letting my mechanic see it? You know, what? Huh? Why would I buy a used car that your mechanic said was cool without letting my mechanic see it? Okay, understandable. Exactly. Raiders said he's fully healthy.
But that's like saying like that the car is good for this. It's gonna win you the race coming up.
Yeah,
but long term, it's gonna break down on you.
Yeah.
I would take it because I want to win the goddamn race.
No, because here's the thing, Caleb. Here's the thing, because you have had 12 years of sustained success with no grand prize. Me, I've had absolute nothing with 2 years of legendariness. You know? So I understand.
If you're happy, are you happy?
No. Yes. Maybe.
You're not happy. When you take. I do
look back. No, hell no. I will never. Those 2 Super Bowls will go down in history. Those are 2 of the most legendary Super Bowls in history, dog. 3 of our Super Bowl victories, Caleb, will go down in history.
Okay,
90,
that's my
07,
point.
11.
I'll take the 10 years of desolation.
Yeah. No, it's not 10 years of desolation. It's 10 years. Oh, yeah, you said 10 years. Yeah. Because in the bad moments, you'll go back to 07. This is what I do, right? Every time the Giants are getting their ass beat, I go on YouTube or Twitter and just look up 2011 highlights of that playoff run and just watch it. Be like, oh, look at Victor Cruz. Yeah, Victor. Oh, my God. Hakeem Nicks with the Hail Mary touchdown. You know, oh, look at Brandon Jacobs. I give it. Corey Webster with the pick in 07, by the way. You know, screw you, Brett Favre. So, yeah, I understand that. But so that's the thing, right? But another theory on this debacle, Caleb, is that the Raiders knew his knee was gone and they tried to screw over the Ravens. You know? So we'll see. So there's 2 theories. Theory is EDC backed out and did the okey doke, the rigmarole, the switchy do, or the other theory is the Raiders, the Raiders tried to screw over the Ravens, knowing that their star defensive end is gone, and the Ravens offered them 2 first-round picks as a deal. Or the third theory is he actually has a bad knee, and this was a proper protocol, and EDC did it right. Because everything is pending physical. Everything is pending physical. You just got to pass the physical in the parameters of the new team.
Not really. I mean, sometimes they trade for injured players and they kind of trudge up the physical to make it look like he passed it when he didn't really pass it.
No, exactly. In their parameters of their physical. If they wanted to keep him, they could have kept him. That's the thing that people are a little mad at. ECD's like, you could have kept him. A lot of people keep injured players, especially Max Crosby. He's 29, probably got 2 to 3 more years left in him. If they're saying with that knee is basically nothing. So he probably has 2 or 3 more years. And the thing is with the Ravens is they're in championship mode now.
Yeah.
I saw a comment by one of the Ravens fans in the stream. It says they're in the Super Bowl window with Lamar, and they need everything. They need offensive line. They need a wide receiver 2. They need better linebackers. They need edge and defensive linemen for pressure. So you're in a Super Bowl window, but you need everything. Same thing with Josh Allen. They're in Buffalo's in a Super Bowl window. Well, not anymore because Sean McDermott left. I don't think Joe Brady. We'll see how he does. But he had no receivers. Pay the bills. Crosby getting all motivated by this just to go 6-11 and sit out until November. Meanwhile, Hendrickson gonna let his frustration out while decleating Joe Bubble Boy. The Raiders threw a smokescreen at EDC, stole Linderbaum while he was distracted, knowing damn well dudes needs dust on dust. That's a theory. But enough about the Raiders and the Ravens because I don't care about them. I don't know why. But it was a big story in free agency. But again, I don't care. It's the Ravens and the Raiders. We'll talk about another Ravens team in the Northeast in a bit. But breakdown. Let's go to let's go to Dallas and let's track their free agency.
The Crosby deal is, we were in on it. We were trying to get him, and that's what I expected. I said last week what the plan was. The plan was to go all in on one big signing, and then get a bunch of mid guys. And we went on the big signing. It didn't turn out well. Didn't go through. But we still stuck to signing a bunch of mid guys.
Yes.
Because that's all we've done.
So let's talk about those mid guys. You signed Sam Howell to be your backup quarterback.
Why didn't you start with that one?
Because it's literally the first name.
Okay.
It's literally the first name.
On
so
what?
What do you want from me? It's the first name. It's the first name, dog.
You could have got in chronological order.
So we're gonna talk about George Pickens?
I mean, no, we've already talked
about George Pickens. We already talked about Brandon Aubrey.
What list are you looking at?
The free agency tracker of all the signings.
Okay.
Yeah, they order it from quarterback down, dummy. That's why
I didn't know what you were looking at.
I literally told you I'm pulling up the free agency tracker. And of course, they put the quarterback at the top. Quarterback down. They go literally quarterback, running back, receiver, offensive lineman, D lineman, cornerback, safety, and then kickers last. And then if you had a punter, it would be dead last. That's why I said Sam Howell first.
Oh, okay.
Idiot. So you signed Sam Howell, and the corresponding move, you released Will Grier finally for the first time in 7 years.
No, we actually released him twice before.
I was making a joke, Caleb. He always comes back. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Just wait in a couple of days, after preseason, you're probably gonna re-sign him back. But Caleb, Sam Howell, backup quarterback.
I mean, he'll give Milton some competition, and I think that's good. He might be better than Milton.
Maybe, we don't know. Milton has a lot of the tools.
Very good.
Yeah, they both stink. So it's whatever. They both stunk.
So I mean, I don't know how he played with the other teams. I mean, with Washington, he was okay. Wasn't great,
I guess.
He was. Yeah, I mean, they put up a lot of yards.
Yeah. Well, then they traded him to Seattle, and he was just the backup in Seattle.
Yeah, so he didn't really do nothing.
Yeah, so after his stint in Washington, he became a backup and didn't play. So you're really only going off of his Washington tape. Did he ever improve as a backup for these other teams? We don't know, because we don't know how quarterback backups progress, because we don't see them in game. Most NFL starters don't want their backups in the game. Other positions, you see a lot of rotation. Backup defensive linemen come in, backup wide receivers, depending on sets. They come in. Safeties, there's rotation at safety sometimes. Depending on the cornerbacks, there's rotation. But backup quarterbacks we don't know. We don't know the development of backup quarterbacks. No one knew if Malik Willis, one of the big signings of this free agency for Miami, we don't know if he improved in Green Bay. When Green Bay signed him, we didn't know. And then when Jordan Love went down and we saw Malik in action and we saw how well he improved from his Tennessee years, that's why he made a big money in free agency. Those stretches, these past 2 years of starting a couple of games back-to-back. So it's Sam, you have no idea, because he didn't play a lot.
Yeah.
He didn't play a lot. Chronologically, they did sign Javonte Williams. We already talked about that. 3 years, $24 million. We talked about George Pickens with the franchise tag, so we're moving on to that one. I believe this was today or yesterday. You signed center Matt Hennessy to your offensive lineman. You've lost a couple of offensive linemen.
A replacement for Brock Hoffman that went to the Steelers.
Brock Hoffman. Yeah, he's a Steeler. Any other? I feel like you lost another offensive lineman.
No, that was the only one.
That's the only one. Yeah. What about the dude who popped his shoulder? Wallachek? Is he still there?
That was a long time ago.
I thought he was just there last year, but I guess not. My bad.
Maybe on like a practice squad or something.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, so Matt Hennessy, he's a camp body, competition.
Well, I think he's the backup. I mean, he's just a straight up backup guard to both Tyler Smith and Tyler Booker.
Yeah, probably, but there's a center designation next to his name. So Cooper Beebe.
Or into Cooper Beebe. I mean, he can play all three, man.
Yeah, Cooper Beebe, man, one of the best guards in college football. Hopefully, he's developed pretty good as a center because Cooper Beebe's I'm always a big fan.
Because Brock, I only say that because Brock Hoffman kind of played all those.
He was like the utility guy, the swing tackle.
If he's a replacement for Brock Hoffman, that's why I kind of just assumed that
guard, center, guard, left guard, right guard, center. Yeah, understandable. Yeah. It's not a sexy pickup. Offensive linemen usually aren't. Not a lot of people would be like, yeah, offensive lineman, woo. Gotta give more respect to the offensive lineman, man. Shout out to them. They're literally the most important people on the team. They are, literally. We'll talk about that in a bit, smooth operator. We'll talk about that in a bit. Thank you. I'm gonna hold that question. I can save those. Let me save that one. Thank you, bro. Traded for Rashan Gary. Yesterday,
the biggest move.
The biggest move. The biggest name. Big name. But like you said, you tried to trade for a big name, and then you traded for a bunch of mid, but then you traded for mid as your big name, and you have a bunch of mid, is what you said. So we'll see.
Yeah, the Cowboys like to trade for a lot of guys instead of just signing free agents because they rarely find any big free agents. They trade for their big guys, or they try to trade for like Max Crosby or trading for Brandon Cooks or Stephon Gilmore or something like that. They like just having, I guess, the contract that they already have instead of signing a new one because you know how that goes when they try to signing guys to new contracts.
They always lose.
It doesn't go well. So I guess they just like taking on the contracts and then restructuring it later.
Yes.
That's kind of the way they do their business. And that's kind of
Stephen Jones.
What they did here.
Stephen Jones.
But as far as Rashan Gary, he's a streaky pass rusher. And he's been that for it's consistent. He's consistent. He's consistently a streaky pass rusher in his entire career. He'll get hot, for a section of the season, then he'll go cold. It's just I would hope here that he gets hot at the right time, and he gets pressure. He can't get pressure when he gets on, but it's just not consistent enough. But yeah, as far as anybody, the other pass rusher on team, he has the most experience and the most sacks, so he's kind of the best we got right now.
I believe former Paramus Catholic player went to Michigan. So shout out to Jersey. But yeah, like he's hit or miss. He's hit or miss. A lot of Packers fans didn't mind him being shipped out. They agreed with. They're like, yeah, it's like 2 sacks, 5 sacks, 9.5, 6, 9, 7.5, 7.5. He never had a double-digit sack season.
No,
not a single one. He also is very low on the tackles. 21, 35, 47, 32, 44, 47, 45. TFLs 3, 5, 8, 7, 7, 9, 7. So you're not even getting TFLs. So he's gonna be another rotational piece. Kind of like Osa Odighizuwa, I guess. You know what I mean? So you traded Osa and you signed Rashan, But then you traded Osa because some people think you gave a rotational defensive end $16 million. That's probably not a good move. So you trade him away.
He was making like $20 million a year.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to have 3 defensive tackles making that much.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to save some money. I didn't like the move. I still thought he was a good player. And I don't know who's playing next to Quentin Williams.
Kenny Clark.
I know you have Kenny Clark. I don't know who's going to be who's the other defensive end.
Sam Williams. You re-signed Sam Williams, remember?
He's a pass rusher, though. He's an edge.
Oh, yeah, because you're running a 3-4 now.
Yeah. So who's the other defensive end?
Yeah. Yeah. So you got Quinn at the nose, Kenny at the 3 or the 1.
Yeah.
And then
Kenny Clark, Quentin Williams, and then who?
Rashan Gary.
He's the edge. He's a linebacker.
You could bump him inside.
Why would we bump him inside?
That's a good point. But yeah, well, funny enough, you said he's an edge, but he also then has to fight. Like we said a couple weeks ago, hold up, there was 2 linebackers. Let me double check.
They're all rotational guys. It's Gary, it's Sam Williams, it's Ezraku, and it's Leofau.
Yeah, exactly. So he has to fight reps with Leofau and Ezraku.
But that's 2 positions. I mean, it's 2 positions with 2 rotational players. I mean, yeah.
So yeah, you need to
there's
draft.
There's literally no one else in that defense.
Well, Caleb, you're right. But then you guys signed Otito.
You don't even know how to say his name or ever heard of this guy. So to expect him to be that other piece is ridiculous.
Well, they expect him to be that other piece. He's your other defensive tackle.
I feel like he's the replacement to Solomon Thomas.
Yeah, Solomon Thomas played inside.
Yeah, but we don't need that lighter defensive tackle. We got a bigger defensive tackle so he can play nose tackle.
Okay, then Quentin Williams is then the other one.
No, he's the one that's on the he's playing one end. Who's playing on the other end?
Kenny Clark.
Kenny Clark's a nose.
So is Otito.
I know, it's kind of, that's how you do a rotation. Multiple players in a rotation, Ferris.
Why not have 2 big boys in the middle?
They are. It's Kenny and the other dude.
Otito.
Yes.
Okay, so Otito, Kenny,
and Quentin Williams. The other side?
Quentin Williams.
No, he's on one side.
So the other side is Otito.
There's 3 D linemen and a 3-4.
Yes.
Yes. So it's Quentin on one side. There's Kenny in the middle.
Yes.
Who's on the other side?
Otito.
No, he's rotational with Kenny.
Why not put Kenny on that side? Because Kenny can play defensive tackle and put Otito in the middle. Oh, put Otito in the middle.
Oh my! You don't even know who the hell it is.
Otito. Otito's 6'4", 320. Oh yeah. So you put Otito in the middle.
Just put him right there, and he's gonna start.
Why not?
Because
you ain't got no options. You got no options. You have no options. Or you're gonna draft somebody in the draft. Let's look up who's in the draft. Let's look up who's in the draft.
But we're not even looking at that in the draft.
You're not looking at defensive tackle.
No, because nobody who has projected a defensive lineman to the Cowboys. It's either been a corner or a linebacker.
In the 2nd round, dude. In the 2nd round.
We don't have a 2nd round pick.
Well, you need to draft a defensive tackle with one of those.
We have too many other holes.
Exactly. So you gotta pick. So you're gonna start Otito. Stop disrespecting Otito. Stop disrespecting Otito.
You don't know who Otito is.
My new favorite Cowboy, Otito. He played for the Chargers. He's pretty, I guess. You know, the defensive tackles, you know, you have Caden McDonald, Peter Woods, Lee Hunter. Lee Hunter is, you know, Caleb Banks broke his foot, so he's going to fall in the draft. You could draft another Michigan guy, Rashan Benny. You have Rashan Gary. Draft Rashan Benny. Or Big Citrus, Dominique Orange. So there's people you can draft in the 3rd round.
Well, we only have a 3rd round pick because we traded away Osa Odighizuwa.
Yeah. So, well, you should have kept Osa then.
That's my points.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I didn't like the move.
let's keep going. We talked about Otito. Shout out to Otito. And then you get DB help. You signed a trio of Kobe Durant from the Rams. I liked Kobe. He's on
Yeah,
my
I
fantasy.
thought that was the one probably I liked the most. I thought that
Yeah,
was a good
I liked Kobe.
good signing. I actually thought we should have signed him maybe to a couple years
Hmm.
instead of just one.
You
Just
signed PJ Locke from Denver. And funny enough, those two guys are on my fantasy team, so I know about them. They're pretty good rotational safety DBs. And then they drafted Jalen Thompson to a 3-year deal. He got the big deal, $36 million. Jalen Thompson, I didn't know the name. Um,
what was the reason for that?
he was drafted by the Cardinals in the supplementary draft. He played in Arizona for his entire career until this year. So Arizona, the Cowboys are
It seems
very
like more just an average safety, not a
yeah,
terrible safety, not a great
seven, yeah.
safety.
Arizona,
Yeah,
the Cowboys know a lot about Arizona because they seem to never be able to beat them. So they probably were impressed with the games he played. He's played in double-digit games since 2021. I think in 2020 that was COVID. He was probably injured or COVID, something like that. But yeah, he played 15 games and 15 games in 3 straight years. So he's missed 2 games. So he's durable. He has 9 picks in his career. I think he's more safety than corner. So 9 picks is a little low because you want your safeties in this modern area of the NFL. You want your safeties to be turnover producers. They produce turnovers. You want that. That's what you want because the safety position is changing. It's changing in these years. So yeah, you got him. So the trio of your DBs. Hopefully you're happy about that, but you know
no. I'm happy about having a starting cornerback in Durant because we didn't have one on the other side
well, you didn't
of
have 2 of them.
of Deron Bland. Um, and
Duran's
even if we draft one and get one in the draft, we still need a third guy. So
mhm.
we need a nickel. We need a nickel corner. So I definitely was happy about that. Jalen Thompson, yeah, we got rid of what's his name, Donovan Wilson. So we definitely need a replacement for him. That's what we got. That's why we signed him. Um, so yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, like I said, a lot of these guys are kind of mid. Um, but our defense wasn't even mid. It was horrendous.
Mhm.
So
Well,
and like I always said last year, if we even just got mid play out of our defense, we would have won more games. Because
mhm.
I think, like I said, our offense was
It
fine.
was humming. They
It
were
was
humming,
top
man.
five.
They were humming.
It was looking good. We didn't really need to make a lot of changes. Just keep it together. We just need to get to mid on defense to really have something going here.
Yeah. Well, it's so shout out to Smooth Operator 15. He said who you want the Cowboys to take with the 2 first-round picks. So the first-round picks are 12 and 20. Around 20, I think you can go corner. Personally, I think you should
Yeah.
probably target Avion Terrell, AJ Terrell's younger brother. He's projected, in the 20s, 29 for this with this ESPN best available. Um, I'm a big fan of Avion Terrell. I saw one of his practice reps with one of his teammates. He stuck on him like glue. He's fluid. He's great. I can't believe I'm helping the Cowboys. Help.
I don't
I'm
think they're going to
disgusted.
listen to you.
Huh?
I don't think they're listening to you.
Okay, good. Yeah, don't draft Avion Terrell. But I would draft Avion Terrell. Because with 12, I would go linebacker. You
Yeah, I
know.
mean I think that's our biggest need is linebacker. It just looks so barren right now. Um, so I would take the linebacker with the first pick. But if we do go corner first, is there linebackers in the 20s that we can get?
Yes, you could draft. It may be a little bit of a reach because he's a first round grade, but people are because but
Well,
he's
what if we trade back so we can get a second round pick or a second round pick back and we trade back?
Yeah, you could do that, or you just draft C.J. Allen at 20. C.J. Allen, the linebacker out of Georgia. You could he's in this thread, he's his overall ranking is 31. So he's a first round talent, but it's 31. So do you care drafting the 31st ranked player at 20? No, because the Cowboys don't care.
Get him later on.
If you can trade back and still get him, good. If you want to go corner with 12, that opens up the cornerback market. That opens up Mansour Delane, the LSU corner. Gerard McCoy, I wouldn't draft him personally because you would be drafting another corner off of an ACL, off of a leg injury. He tore his ACL this year. He didn't play at all this year. People are going off of his 2024 tape, not his 2025 tape, because there is no 2025 tape. He tore his ACL. You've already drafted Siobhan Revell, who I believe tore his Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Is it his Achilles?
ACL or Achilles.
Yeah.
It's always one of those two.
It's one of those two. So you drafted Siobhan Revell, and I personally don't like drafting injured players because in the NFL, you don't get healthier. You don't.
And he definitely looked like he hadn't played football in a long time.
Exactly. So I would stay away from Gerard McCoy, because he's not playing this year. He's not, because he'll be out he was out for a whole year. He may be rusty. The only player I've seen that tear their ACL, still get drafted in the first round and play good was Jeffrey Simmons. But outside of that, I haven't seen that. Either I'm probably missing somebody, but outside of it's only with Jeffrey. So yeah, you could go with Mansour Delane. The last time I remember you guys drafting an LSU cornerback, it was Mo Claiborne.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for you. Yeah, you traded up for him. It didn't work out for you because I don't know what happened. But Mansour, he's the top. He's the top pick in this draft. Because the thing is, Caleb, I just don't think Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles are falling to 12. Because from 12, you could
package that 20.
But then you only get one of the players.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's worth it. I mean, if he's that good.
He is, but he's still also a linebacker. Worth
2 players.
But I don't think a linebacker is worth 2 players. You need DBs. You need DBs. So
I mean, we just signed the starting one, so I mean.
Well, yeah, I guess. Sure.
He's a starter. He played pretty well in that Bears game.
Kobe? Yeah, he did. I guess. But yeah, man, you can find some good linebackers, or you double dip in Texas. You double dip in Texas. You draft Anthony Hill.
Yeah, he's a second round projection, or
37 overall.
That's the problem. We don't have one of those.
That's the problem. We don't have a second round pick. So it could be a combination of C.J. Allen in a corner, a trade up. Me personally, I would stay pat, draft corner at 12, get C.J. at 20. That's just me, but what do I know?
You literally just said the opposite to start.
Yeah, but as we're talking about it, I changed my mind because you realize that you have no corners. Yeah, you have Kobe Durant, but you want to improve in that category. Unless
we need to improve in a lot of categories. I mean, just pick a category.
Yeah, unless Christian Parker sees.
What about safety? Is there a first round safety?
Yeah, there's first round safeties. There's Caleb Downs, Dylan Thielemann.
Well, Downs is not making it to 12.
Well, Dylan is 20th overall, so I think he'll be there at 12. Dylan Thielemann. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, he's at 26 overall. So yeah, Caleb Downs could drop, because he's a corner, because he's a safety. Because shout out to Smooth Operator. Shout out to Pay the Bills. I would cheer for O-line pick. Yeah, of course you would. Smooth Operators. I want the Giants to take Styles, but I got a feeling Harbaugh may take Love. That if he takes Love, then he's an idiot. He's a bona fide moron. Because we don't have a linebacker 2. We don't have a wide receiver 2. We don't have inside defensive linemen.
Is it likely you're starting tight end?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You know, and then we can also draft one in the draft like he always does. Personally, with me, I would draft Sonny at 5 or Carnell Tate at 5. We're going Ohio State. And I would rather draft one of those two guys over Jeremiah Love because you can then find another running back. You found 2 running backs in the 4th and 5th rounds in back-to-back drafts who are serviceable. So why not find a running back in the 3rd round?
Do you want serviceable?
Well, in the 3rd round, you can find someone probably better. But I'm not gonna waste capital because here's the thing, man. The offensive line still isn't fully shaped out. We got our 2 bookends, Thomas and Illuminor. We have our center and John Michael Schmitz. A little weak in the knees, a little weak in the derriere. And then our guards, let's transition.
The Giants always have a good run game.
Yeah, because the offensive line works.
I mean, that's how they won 2 Super Bowls because they had the running backs.
So exactly. So let's transition over to the New York Giants free agency. We signed Isaiah Hodgins, Gunnar Olszewski, the receivers. We signed an offensive lineman category. We got Jermaine Illuminor, we re-signed him. Evan Neal, Aaron Steeney. So we have those 3 offensive linemen. I can't believe they re-signed Evan Neal. That blew my mind. And then with the running game help, we have Patrick Ricard as fullback. So that's going to help the running game. So we'll see about that. We re-signed Micah McFadden. I was a big fan of that. And then we signed Tremaine Edmonds. I'm a big fan of that, but I'm also a little irritated because if you're signing Tremaine Edmonds to $36 million, 23.7 guaranteed, you could have given Leo Chanel $24.75 because he got $24.75. You could have given Devin Lloyd $3 more million for Devin Lloyd. And Devin Lloyd's better than Tremaine Edmonds. For the past 2 years, people have made that very clear that Devin Lloyd is probably the 3rd or 2nd best linebacker in the league. Behind Fred Warner, of course. Everyone's behind Fred. So, because Devin finally started, living up to the potential in Jacksonville, but then he priced himself out of Jacksonville. So you could have signed him, then you could have then signed Leo Chanel, and then you could have had Michael McFadden there. So Tremaine's going to be linebacker 1, very, very good side to side, very fast side to side. Michael McFadden's coming back from a foot injury. We then signed Greg Newsome II and our Darius Washington in the safeties. We then also signed a couple more safeties this year, today and yesterday. We got Elijah Chapman, was it Elijah Chapman? Or somebody. Hold up. Let's see the Giants free agency. A more updated category. What? Damn, that's pretty old. But it doesn't matter. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna go Jeremiah Love at 4. We're basically the Baltimore Ravens Northeast.
Yeah.
Got Ricard, Likely, Ardarius Stewart, and some other people. Oh, Calvin Austin. Yeah, we signed Calvin Austin. He's a slot receiver. He's going to replace Wan'Dale Robinson. We got him on the cheap. I think it was 1.5 mil, while Wan'Dale got 78 mil. So, and EPA target, they're kind of similar. So we'll see if Calvin Austin flourishes in that role. I don't think we're going to do a lot of passing because John Harbaugh is going to try to establish the run and probably do some play action. So intermediate to short routes, yards after catch, Calvin Austin can help with that. So yeah, like it was beefing up the run game. Because here's the thing too, we also haven't signed a guard. I wanted Eldrin Jenkins. I wanted Tevin Jenkins. I wanted the Jenkinsons. But Cleveland took him. But the thing is, both of Cleveland's guards that they walk are still unemployed. Wyatt Teller and Joe Bitonio, who, funny enough, played under our current offensive line coach, Mike Bloomberg. Bloomberg. They're still unemployed. So if we sign them, we're improving the interior. Kevin Zeitler is still unemployed. So you have a trio of guards you can choose from. You have a trio of guards you can choose from. You can still salvage the inside run game because the inside run game is dictated by the guards in the center. John Michael Schmitz, I think he needs to be a little bit more strong. He needs to get more in the weight room, but the guards can really help him out. So there's that. So I wouldn't go Jeremiah Love at 5 because it'll just be like Saquon Barkley at 2. You draft this star.
One time.
Huh?
You went to the playoffs one time?
One time.
One time?
Yeah, one time. Stop saying stupid stuff. Right? You're an idiot.
What are you talking?
You know, like you draft this all-worldly weapon at running back, but then you put nothing in front of him. You don't put a guards at all. You have Andrew Thomas, and you basically tell Andrew help the off. Like you give Saquon and Andrew Thomas nothing. Exactly, smooth operator. You get Teller and Zeitler. You've improved it. Zeitler was a former Giant, so he knows how. Well, he knows the Giants organization and the building.
Old.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He's 36. Sometimes it's okay to be a little old, because some people are saying we should sign 40-year-old Calais Campbell. You know, Dan Schneider said that. Shout out to Dan. Dan said hold up, I gotta see the tweet, man. It was a great tweet by Dan Schneider. Let me look up the tweet. Do I follow Dan? Yeah, I do follow Dan. He said this is what he said about Calais Campbell. That's what he said about Calais Campbell. I'm trying to find it. He called it pretty funny. I quite enjoyed it. Oh, we signed Jason Pinnock back. So we got Jason Pinnock. We got Ardarius Washington. And then we also got a safety from Miami. Let me see. Where did he say? I'm trying to find it, man. It was pretty on point. It's pretty on point about Calais Campbell. But yeah, like if we draft Jeremiah Love at 5, then I don't know, man. Then that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. I'm a big fan of running backs. I love running backs. I don't think running backs should be.
Well, you said they're not going to pass the ball anyways. You want to just make that run game the best it can be with a great running back, and then you have Scadaboo, you have Tracy, and then you just make it an elite run game.
Yeah. No. You're not gonna try to talk me into drafting Jeremiah Love at 5. You're not doing that. So you can have Sonny Styles. That's not happening. We also have holes across. We don't have a cornerback 2. So we have a lot of holes. No cornerback 2, no wide receiver 2. Linebacker is still a little iffy.
You just out Kevin Austin.
He's a wide receiver 3 slot. We need another outside guy.
You got what, Wandell?
Wandell is no longer. He's in Tennessee.
Oh, he's down?
I literally just told you.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Oh my God, you're an idiot. But yeah, man, it's.
Damn, you guys have nobody to receive. You guys.
That's right. I literally. Oh my God, I literally told you that. And we technically right now we don't have a wide receiver 1. Because he's injured.
You don't even know how he's going to come back.
Exactly. We have no wide receivers. No wide receivers. Funny enough, Juwan Jennings is still unemployed.
So you might as well run the ball every down. See, there you go. Jeremiah Love.
Oh my God, I'm not doing this, man. I'm not being talked into signing Jeremiah Love. I'm not doing it, man. I'm not doing it. Because look at the running backs, man. You can find good running backs later on in the draft. You can draft his running mate, Jadarin Price, or Mike Washington Jr., who ran that 4.3 40. Or Nicholas Singleton or Katreon Arnold. I was a big fan of them at Penn State. You know what I mean? So Jonah Coleman, man,
you could pass the ball to Ricard. Didn't the Ravens do that a lot?
Oh my God, bro, you're a monster, man.
Is that part of his game plan?
You're horrible. I'm so mad right now.
That's what they did.
Yeah, and it's dumb. It's dumb. They're dumb.
He's
They're
another
dumb people.
target.
They're dumb people. They're dumb people. All right? And you're not going to convince me otherwise. You know? So, yeah. So, I'm just waiting and seeing. Also, too, a lot of people are coming back from injury. You know, a lot of talk is surrounded by Kayvon Thibodeau. It was like, why is he still on his team? Let's trade him. Me, I don't want to trade him.
I mean, do you think he's going to get better?
I think he is going to get better, and I think he should.
What would indicate that he's going to get better?
Well, his rookie year he had double-digit sacks. He was one of our best run defenders. Before he got injured, he was our best run stopper on the line, and then he got injured. He hurt his ankle. I think you bump and he got hurt again. You bump him inside. I think
he's had multiple injuries.
Well, I think this year they
be healthy.
No, I think this year they shut him down because the season was gone. I think the season was done. I think they should bump him inside. I think he should use his power and his speed because he knows how to transition from speed to power against guards. Bump him inside. That's what they did with Justin Tuck. Justin Tuck, they bumped him inside, put JPP and OC on the out. See, exactly, man. You got Abdul Carter's.
The size of Justin Tuck, though.
Huh?
Is he the same size?
Let's see. Justin Tuck. This is his listed. He was listed at 6'5", 265.
Oh, okay.
Kayvon
that
Thibodeau.
Is a little bigger than that.
Kayvon Thibodeau is 6'5". It's 6'5", 258.
Okay, very similar.
Very similar sizes.
Yeah, I thought it was like bigger than that. That's surprising.
No, yeah, they're very similar sizes. So bump him inside, let him feast on some guards. Abdul Carter, put him in the OCU Manuro role on the outside, using his speed and his dip against tackles. Then you have Brian Burns on the other side, who's kind of like the JPP. So you got JPP, OC, you got Justin Tuck, and then in the middle, you got the big dude, which is like Chris Canty, Barry Cofield. He's better than Chris Canty and Barry Cofield. Shout out to Dexter Lawrence. And then you have another defensive tackle, another big guy in there. You know what I mean? Probably a draft pick. Probably Christian Wilkins is still unemployed.
And played for a year.
That's true. So we could get him on the cheap. So yeah. They didn't, or they signed, Calais Campbell, old Calais Campbell, 40-year-old.
40-year-old Calais Campbell.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a bunch. Pay the bills. Abdul may end up in the infamous doghouse. Man, you don't put a player like that, Abdul Carter, in a doghouse. He's learning better. I'm a big fan. Abdul's about to go crazy. Exactly, man. Edge, you bump Kayvon.
I like to sleep.
Huh?
Not the guy who sleeps all through the.
It was
was
blown out of proportion. Blown out of proportion.
Studies.
Blown out of proportion.
Was it?
Right? Yeah, it was. It was a still image. Someone took a screenshot and then said he's asleep. It's like it was a screenshot. Watch the video. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Sometimes he'd be sleeping on the field too. I mean.
No. Now we're lying.
I mean, I didn't really see him during the Cowboys games, but okay.
That's because he was playing linebacker.
Okay. I didn't see him.
He's an edge.
I didn't see him.
He's an edge.
Did you see him? Because I didn't see him.
Well, nobody played defense in those games. Week 1, nobody on defense was seen. The game ended in 46-43.
Exactly. That's why I didn't see him.
Yeah, nobody saw nobody. In the second Cowboys game, I don't know what happened. I was kind of too upset to watch that game because I was like, why did we win? I was upset. I was really bad.
Nobody watched that game.
Nobody watched that game. Funny enough, Dak Prescott's record against the Giants is broken, but that we all know that's a lie. He's still undefeated against the New York Giants since his sophomore year of the games. But yeah. So yeah, the Giants can go in a lot of different ways, man. Why Taylor, Joel Bitonio, Kevin Zeiler, they're still out there. You need to firm up the inside. You need to firm that up. In the draft, you go Sonny, you go Carnell Tate. You already signed 1,000 safeties. You don't need to draft another one. So you don't need to do that. You don't need to do Caleb Downs at 5. So it's Sonny or Carnell Tate. It's one of that. And then you also need inside defensive line. And then you also need a second corner. Probably we need a cornerback 1 too. Paulson Adebo, he was good. He was really good when he played. He thinks we the Ravens, our team built completely different. Exactly. Completely different. We actually have defensive linemen. Ravens don't. They don't even trust that. But yeah, man, that's the way it is. That's the plan. Sign one of these veteran guards, 2 of them. Go Carnell Tate, go Sonny Styles at 5. You go inside defensive line in the second round, because you need to help Dexter Lawrence. You need to help him out. Try to find another corner. Paulson Adebo, he was good, but the problem is he kept getting hurt. The Denver Broncos game, it all completely changed when him and Javon Holland got hurt. The defense fell apart. They picked on Tay Banks the entire time.
I mean, did it fall apart when that happened? I mean,
literally, we saw when they both got hurt.
When did they get hurt?
In the end of the third quarter.
Of which game?
The Broncos game. At the end of the third quarter, they both got hurt.
When the Cowboys put up like 40 points on you?
Well, it was week 2. They were still
it was week 2. It wasn't broken then?
Well, he fixed it. Jokes aside. No, pay the bills. I don't want Daniel Falele. Absolutely, smooth operator. No, Falele. He garbage. Exactly. He garbage. He garbage, bro. He's something worse than garbage, bro. He is like, we got to find another word. Again, we're talking about Harbaugh. I've dealt with this idiot long enough to know a thing or two. That's a good point. But Daniel Falele is still unemployed. He'll probably try to sneak him in, but I don't think so. So yeah, man, that's the way for the Giants. Cornerbacks, probably we're gonna, in the second or third rounds, Keontae Scott, Chris Johnson. Those are someone we should be looking at. D'Angelo Pons, his height may have him drop. I personally don't want D'Angelo Pons. Man's too grabby for my liking. Davison Igbinosun, the cornerback from Ohio State, he's ranked 55. Bro, look up our O-line. Fale would not even be a backup for us straight over here. We straight over. Exactly. We straight, bro. We got Andrew Thomas, Jermaine Illuminor, John Michael Schmitz. We got John Runyon. We need another guard. We need right guard. And Wyatt Teller, Kevin Zeitler, we need one of them. Someone said we could have released John Runyon to save some cap space, but that's too late. I think they're going to keep John Runyon. So we're keeping John Runyon. So yeah, I've said the plan 3 times. I keep repeating myself. I apologize. But we've gotten an hour. I think we've talked about everything.
Oh, I just want to hit on real quick the other 2 teams in the division.
Yes.
I actually liked even though I hate the Washington, I actually like what they've been doing. It kind of seems like what they did 2 years ago when Dan Quinn first got there.
A lot of vets.
A lot of free agent signings, and it looks like they had some good ones. They had some good ones.
So today they signed Ricard White. They signed Ricard White today. They signed Van Jefferson. They signed a top tight end, one of the top tight ends on the market, Chigozime Okonkwo, the guy from Tennessee. They re-signed Laramie Tunsil. They re-signed Nick Allegretti, Andrew Wiley, Trent Scott. They re-signed. And then on the defensive ends, they signed Charles Omenihu, Kayvon Chason. And then they gave their big money signing is Odafe Owe. He got $100 million, 68 guaranteed. So it's really 4 years, $68 million. That's their big signing. Odafe kind of resurrected his career in I was about to say San Diego, in Los Angeles with the Chargers. So he got on the free agency market and he got his money. They re-signed Dietrich Wise, signed Tim Settle. They signed Leo Chanel for the 3 years, 24 million 75.
That was a good signing.
Good signing. Leo, I think the reason Leo's deal was so low is because he was a rotational piece in Kansas City. It was him, Drew Tranquil, and Nick Bolton. They were rotating in the way Steve Spagnuolo used them. They signed Amik Robinson. Amik Robinson, he became the starter in Detroit, because Terrion Arnold got hurt and another one of their corners got hurt. So he started a lot of games for Detroit. He played very well. And then Nick Cross, they signed him as well. Nick Cross, safety out of Indianapolis. People are big fans of him. This deal makes the Javon Holland deal last year look like a massive overpay, and Joe Shane, once again, doesn't know what he's doing. They re-signed Tress Way, and they re-signed Jake Mooney. So they look pretty good. But then the Eagles,
they kind of took their time and didn't do anything for a little bit.
Yeah, no, they didn't really have much to address.
Yeah, I mean,
Howie Roseman likes to
draft.
Lose
some guys. They lost some guys.
Well, yeah, they lost two main guys on their defense, but one of them was a mid-season trade acquisition. They traded for Jalen Phillips. They lost him to Carolina. He got $120 million. Hopefully he stays healthy for them. Then they also lost Nakobe Dean, their inside middle linebacker from he's been a little injury prone, but he also wanted more of a role in the defense. But like I said, Caleb, Howie Roseman thinks 2 years ahead. They already have Nakobe Dean's replacement. His name is Jahad Campbell. They drafted him last year. Mm-hmm. So Jahad and Zach Bond are going to be their two middle linebackers.
Was Nakobe Dean even that good?
He was goodish. He just kept getting hurt.
Because I never noticed him when he played the Eagles.
He was barely on the field because he was always. That's the thing. He was always hurt. He was barely on the field.
People talked about the Cowboys not wanting him and not
Hold on, let me see if his injury woes was over. Let me see how many games he missed.
And there was a lot of talk about how the Cowboys should have been in on him, and but it was like, why? That confused me because it was like I didn't even think he was that good.
He's had as a starter, he's had one healthy season. So his rookie year, he played in all 17 games, didn't start a single game. Second year in the NFL, he played 5 games, started 4, and he was then hurt. Third year in the NFL, 15 games, 15 starts. This last year, 10 games played, 8 starts. So up and down injury history. So there's that. But yeah, but Howie likes to draft replacements. He drafted Jahad Campbell. Jahad Campbell's going to take Nakobe Dean's role. Yeah, he's going to be a second-year player. He's going to be with Zach Bond. So that's how Howie operates. He drafts replacements. He drafted Milton Williams in the 3rd round or 4th round. And then he played him, got his money up, and then let him walk away. That's what Howie does. That's why he's one of the best GMs in the league. They re-signed Jordan Davis. They re-signed Jalen Carter. So those 2 guys are staying there. They signed 2 cornerbacks, Jonathan Jones and Tariq Woolen. Tariq Woolen being the safety from Seattle. Yeah. Seahawks fans, they're not that sad that he left. They've kind of described him as a boom or bust, big play guy. Either he does something great for you or he does something stupid. People bring up
Super Bowl with him.
Yeah, they won a Super Bowl with him. They bring up the situation where he almost cost them the NFC Championship game. Yeah. Nick Emenwari, the rookie, had to tell him to calm down. You almost cost us the game. What's wrong with you? So, and then he's like, my bad, dog. Yeah. And then they signed outside linebacker from Atlanta. I think they signed him today. Arnold Ibikite. He had people are saying he had a good year last year. I know Dan Schneider, shout out to Dan. I know he did. So getting 7.3 million. People think Eagles got a steal there. Let me check his stats from last year. He was not a starter in Atlanta. He played in every game, but he didn't start in every game. 2.5 sacks, 6 sacks, 6 sacks, 2 sacks. He's a rotational piece. So we'll see how he does in Philly with Vic Fangio. But yeah, then they re-signed Grant Calcaterra. They signed Johnny Mont from the Vikings. They re-signed their punter. Yeah, they kind of just, didn't really do much. Smooth operator, I agree. The NFL dropped the ball. They should have had the Ravens and Giants play each other for a primetime game. Yeah, man. Yeah. They should have. They should have. It would have been real funny. I'm excited to see this Giants offense once everyone's back. Exactly, man. We'll see how it is, man. We'll see if it's, old school Giants where they ran the ball a lot with O.J. Anderson, and that's how we won one of our Super Bowls where he just ran the ball down their throats. We beat the Bills that way. So we'll see. We'll see how it is. But any thoughts on those, Caleb, on the Eagles? Your final thoughts.
I mean, they already had a really good team, really good roster.
Yeah.
They just lost a couple pieces, and like you said, Howie's just a great GM, so I'm sure he'll put some more guys. Do you think AJ Brown is getting traded though?
No. No one's gonna match their asking price. They want a first and they want a first and a second, but no one wants to give up a first for AJ Brown because they're like, he didn't have a good year last year. He dropped a lot of passes on slants. He was a malcontent. He didn't want to be there. He was a little annoyed. So no one's gonna give you a first round pick for him. It's not happening. So you want a first round pick? No one wants to give you a first round pick. AJ Brown's an Eagle. And I think GMs are like, I'm done letting you Howie screw me over. Because GMs probably see the media and how everyone keeps heaping praise on him, right? Like, because these people, they also have egos, right? They also have egos. So when you're the other 31 GMs, right? And every offseason, someone's talking about how Howie Roseman screwed you over, or Howie Roseman beat you, or Howie Roseman's the best. The other GMs are probably a little irritated. They're like, man, what? And imagine you being the GM that people say you lost. You lost the trade to Howie. So probably people are like, I'm done playing nice with Howie. I'm going to be hardball. You want a first? I ain't giving you a first. This was the first off season where I've seen people heap praise on John Schneider, the GM of Seattle, as well. So it's now John and Howie are getting all these heaps of praises. Let's not forget, man, these GMs and these owners, they're egomaniacs. They have their own egos. They're mad that they're not getting praise. How mad would you be, Caleb, if you turn on ESPN or Fox or Twitter? These GMs are on Twitter, Caleb. These GMs are on Twitter. And you see everyone say, oh, Howie Roseman screwed over this dude. Howie Roseman just beat him. He whooped your ass. And you're that GM. You'll be pissed off. You'll be irritated. So you're done playing nicely nice with Howie Roseman. You're going to play hardball. Like, no, I'm not giving you a first. You want a first? I ain't giving it to you. You don't get a second and a third. He didn't have a great year last year. I'm not giving you up. I'm not giving up a first for a malcontent. It's not happening. So these GMs are probably, putting their foot down. Because like I said, man, these people got egos. They're human. They get offended. They get sad. You think Joe Shane likes going... Joe Shane on Twitter. You think Joe Shane go on Twitter? You think he likes seeing Giants fans call him a dumbass? No! Who wants to be called a dumbass? You think he enjoys people saying how he's now a glorified scout and now he has no more power and he's a loser?
You guys need a receiver.
Yeah, we need a receiver. But we're not giving up... We're not giving...
Well...
We're going to just... No, because we could just draft one at 5. Just draft one at 5. Cardinal Tate at 5. There it is.
You could have Jeremiah Love at 5, though.
You know what? That's where we end the show. Caleb, where can people find you?
You can find me at NFLCaleb22 on Instagram and Twitter /X, and here every Friday.
All right, guys. My name is Faraz Blond. You can find me here every Friday, 5 o'clock Pacific, or if I have to work on a Friday, especially at 12 o'clock. So be on the lookout for that 12, but mostly 5. We do like doing it at 5, where everyone's kind of, mellowed out, chilled. Everyone's at home, chilling. You can just put it on, hear us yelling, scream at each other, because usually Caleb says something stupid. So we'll see. Like, I finally broke him down, guys. When I first met Caleb, he used to be the Cowboys fan that thought they would win a lot of stuff and probably win a Super Bowl. And
we did win some week 1 games.
And then I finally broke his soul, and I told him, you're never winning anything. And now he's on my side. He's on my side. But on that note, everyone, if you guys like the video, we're trying to grow. Last time I checked, I think we're at 340 subscribers. I think. Let me double check. I want to double check. Yeah, we're at 344 subscribers. We were at 322 literally last week, and 22 amazing support. We really appreciate you. We're 6 away from 350. So share this link. We're trying to get to 350 by the end of, you know what? Let's do end of next week. Hopefully. It's small goals. So 350, we really appreciate it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share this link with your pals. We really love to see you back. We really love to see you, Smooth Operator, back. We love to having the conversations. We like having big conversations that way. So thank you so much. Hope you had a wonderful time. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out, y'all.